Hey everyone, it's the Sith Justice Warriors coming at you with our weekly entertainment news podcast with your host, Phan and Lumpia.
Hey, happy Sunday. We
Happy
made it.
Sunday, indeed. So, we've got three topics that are near and dear to our heart. One is the most breaking news one, which was the DC Fandome, I guess, virtual convention. So, where they got together virtually to show off a few things for from the DC folks, given that we've had some strange, unfortunate news about DC, but they came to flex a little bit. And so a couple of the big hitters that came through was the Wonder Woman 1984 trailer that showed Cheetah and Kristen Wiig's Cheetah's full form. We had the Batman Gotham Knights game that was announced. Interesting that it's after Arkham Knight, where Bruce Wayne died. Well, I guess comic book died. Um, Suicide Squad. They did a little bit of a montage of Suicide Squad full cast. They actually showed off Harley Quinn's outfit, which gives me a little bit of the Deadpool vibes. It's a lot better than what we saw with the emancipation of one Harley Quinn. Uh, they also showed the fact that there's going to be a Static Shock movie. Milestone Comics is going to be revived. It's going to be interesting. It's digital format, and given that DC Publishing is going to take a step back, Snyder Cut did a bit of a teaser trailer and a mini series. Showed a bit of interesting perspectives, given that the way they originally shot that film, it does make you want to take a look back at that movie. Black Adam details were teased. The Rocksteady Suicide Squad game was also revealed. And last but most importantly, not least, that Batman trailer. Lumpia, what was your big things?
Well, it's interesting about. We'll go to the Wonder Woman piece first. We'll go in the order you were saying. Um, it was definitely a better trailer. Like, got to see a little bit more of it. It still didn't explain who the main bad guy is because it feels like the guy who is controlling this whole Kristen Wiig thing is the guy. It's still a little unclear about Steve if he's really alive, if he's a figment of her imagination. Something tells me he's alive because he like remembers her and he's still stuck in the past but in 1984. So feels like this is Steve. But it's interesting cuz like I was watching it and I said to myself, God, she's really like super powered. She's like super powered. Like, and I know you can make the connection, okay, she's technically like one of the gods of the DC world, but like she's like riding on these thunderbolts. Like it's a little too much for me. I, I'm I don't know. I have to take a step back and I'm like, it's funny because I'm gonna go on the limb here and say we were saying how superpowered Captain Marvel is, but you don't really realize how superpowered Diana is, but maybe because she's a relative of the gods, it makes sense to us to accept. But it's a little much.
But I think they did this. Didn't they establish it with Batman versus Superman? She was like going toe to toe, right, with that thing. What was that
Yeah, she
thing?
was, but that's what I'm saying. Like, I didn't even like. I don't know.
It
I just
didn't.
think
It didn't sit well.
she's like uber super powered. It's a little much. Because even in the comics, like I don't know. Like one could say Superman is uber super powered, but even he get like I don't know. I feel like she doesn't get as many hits as in this, and at least in the trailers that I've seen.
Well, here's one thing too about your Steve Trevor thing is that I'm actually curious because and we've already established in not just Batman, not Batman versus Superman, what was the Justice League, where they did a little bit of montage of her being kind of lonely and like how she doesn't like she lost the love and all that stuff, and
Mm.
that was present day. So I kind of, I mean, this I hate to say it, is this a spoiler? He dies.
Yeah,
You
I
know what I mean?
watched the first one, but yeah, I mean,
Well, not yeah, not the first one. The in what's its face? God damn it, what's his name? The guy who's divorced Jennifer Garner.
Coulson. I love Coulson.
No, 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 Jennifer Garner. The
Oh, Ben Affleck.
That's his name. I
What's
can't remember.
her
I don't
name?
know why I can't remember. Ben, yes, the Justice League where he was like talking. And she was like, "I lost somebody" or something. I don't know.
Yeah, no, it's interesting. So anyway, the bigger thing here that I took away from it is we got to see a little bit more of Kristen Wiig's transformation into Cheetah. It just looked a little fake to me. The CGI for her in the full Cheetah, like it was really weird. And I think they need to do a little bit more cleanup. Maybe there's a blessing in disguise here, but it looks strange to me. I mean, I don't know about you. It just even like their fighting scene, like really looked strange. Like there could have been a better way to design it. I don't know.
You know who did a better job at like furry characters? I have to give props to the X-Men. That like Beast was more realistic.
Yeah, realistic. Yeah, like okay, like honestly, I would have been okay if she put a cheetah costume on, but I'm guessing she really makes a full-fledged transformation into a cheetah. However, it looks strange. She's like a gray cheetah.
I
And
was about to
maybe
call her Chitara.
colors. I know. She doesn't even look like Chitara. They could have made her look like Chitara from the Thundercats. Chitara just has on like a leotard. Like she just has on a bodysuit. And then she has like makeup on. Yeah, like if you think about like Chitara, like from the Thundercats, like she has leggings, a leotard, and then her hair is really what makes her. But she actually like doesn't. She actually looks pretty cool. Like her hair is the cheetah part, but this cheetah is weird looking. I just wish she would be a little more believable. Then I will. That's my gripe there. I'll still probably watch it. Maybe not day one, but I will watch it. I'll flip forward to Batman because we go from a little bit unrealistic to a more realistic Batman, and I have to admit I didn't know much about the Rob Pattinson version until I started looking into this trailer and reading up about it that this is actually supposed to be Batman Year 2. So like the first true like things aren't perfect. Gotham is still a bitch.
Isn't it always?
Even Zoe like Kravitz's Catwoman is not a perfect Catwoman. She just basically took a burglar mask and
Oh yeah,
cut
that
it
was
up.
horrible.
This is supposed to be until I read that the head people of the show basically said, this is supposed to be year 2. It's not a perfect transition for him yet. Like if you think about the Batcave, it's not even done. Like it's just a place right now. Like it doesn't look like the Batcave that we got from Ben Affleck's Batman, from George Clooney's from Michael Keaton's Batman. It's not perfected yet. So that was interesting. Like I said, I guess we're going to see the Riddler, which even that costume wasn't even perfect. If that guy with the mask was the Riddler, even we got a little bit of glimpse of Colin Farrell's Penguin. You even Andy Serkis is supposed to be playing Alfred, and supposedly he's going to be a Alfred we've never seen before. So, and then when Rob Pattinson took off the mask, it was interesting because his eyes were shaded in charcoal because the mask doesn't hide your skin, so he shaded his eyes in charcoal to blend in with the mask. So it's not a perfect Batman, and that I can kind of appreciate that because after seeing the Wonder Woman trailer, and like I said, there's nothing wrong with it. I just think it's a little too perfect. Going to the Batman one was a little bit two stark contrasts. And then lastly, I will touch on the Suicide Squad, the cast reveal. I mean, everyone kind of heard bits and pieces of who was going to be in the Suicide Squad. We all knew that with James Gunn kind of manning the helm, he was going to bring in a lot of people he worked with from Guardians. and I'm really hoping this has a Guardians feel. I do wonder if he has too many people, because he's got John Cena, he's got, I like Margot Robbie's.
Wait. Say that again?
John Cena's in the movie. You didn't see that?
Oh my god, dude.
Oh my god.
What does he play as a Marine?
No, he's Peacemaker or something.
Wait. Hold on.
Oh
I
my
thought
god.
we missed this. Where is Sirius?
I know he's downstairs watching the pay-per-view right now. So but I can't wait. I can't wait. So number one, we all knew Idris Elba was going to be in it. We knew a lot of people were reprising their roles in it. I'm surprised they didn't bring, what's her name? Was it Katana? Like basically the chick, the chick with the blades and the mask. She was pretty cool. Or did she die in Suicide Squad? I don't remember. But basically, you have Idris Elba, who's blood sport. He's not bloodshot. Will Smith's character. So that's interesting. You have a lot of people coming back, like Jai Courtney. Of course, James Gunn brought in his brother Sean. He actually plays Weasel, which is like a weasel, like almost like Rocket. So that's interesting. Michael Rooker is this guy Savant. It was nice to see them bring him in. Pete Davidson's in the movie. Alice Braga, some other guy, Flua Borg. He plays Javelin. There are some random. Even Nathan Fillion's in the movie. John Cena is Peacemaker. That's who he is. What else is there? There's a lot more women other than Harley Quinn, which was interesting, but it's still a male predominant cast. I wonder if that's done on purpose because, like, Harley Quinn, maybe she asked in her contract for, like, top billing. I don't know.
No, she just will, because most of the guys would rather want more.
Yeah, but it's interesting. They did bring in a lot of other women and, like, in the show, but they're not like Harley. Like, I don't know who Mongo.
It's not Harley though. I think Harley just demands screen time.
Yeah, I guess so.
I don't disagree with you about her contract. I think that she makes money. They just have to represent her in a way that people will pay. And clearly, the emancipation of one Harleen Quinn didn't really work out. So
yeah, well, I'm glad. Like I said, they fixed her outfit.
They made her look like a crazy woman that you want to look at, as opposed to the crazy woman you want to not look at.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then two last things. The Black Adam piece was interesting. It's interesting how they did the story in like a sort of cartoon sort of way, how they introduced Black Adam. It's interesting because it's probably one of the first few superhero movies about a villain. I'm going to be interested how this works with Shazam, because Shazam 2 is coming out and he's Shazam's, he is the bad guy basically in Shazam. And as we all know, Shazam, he's basically the opposite of what Shazam is, where it's like Shazam's like youth and hope, like all these like positive things. Black Adam is the opposite of that. And so I'm excited for The Rock, but I'm curious because this is truly one of the first few super villain movies, besides exclude Suicide Squad for a second, but true super villain movie. Could you imagine if they just made a movie about Thanos without any of the Avengers at all? That's what I feel like this is. And so it'll be interesting to see the origin story and then how they connect it with Shazam. Shazam is actually a funny story. We're at the heart of it. So when he comes into contact with The Rock's Black Adam, I'm going to be very interested how that plays out. So that, and then I'll touch lightly on the game. The game looks really cool. It reminded me of Arkham Asylum or Arkham whatever, that series. So I'm very excited about it. I know Arkham, was it Arkham Asylum, Arkham Knight, and something like that was a really good game, bestsellers for their video game platform. So it'll be interesting.
Yeah, no, I mean, I actually, because of the trailer, I actually bought on sale the trilogy, and I could see why people liked it. It's got a really good vibe. It does have the whole Batman Bruce Wayne vibe. It's interesting that they went with this multiplayer co-op. I wonder, is this going to be like a games as a service Destiny where they keep changing the world? They'll maybe expand it to a 4-player co-op, and you can run around as Nightwing, Batgirl, or Robin or Red Hood. I'm actually kind of disappointed though. My girl, Kate Kane, Batwoman, is not there.
Oh damn.
I'm very disappointed. The greatest Bat person ever to have graced every comic, the bestseller, is not there. Come on, man. Nah, yeah. I mean, we may talk about it again as more news pops up, but I think that's on my radar. It's slowly becoming a day one for me, but maybe that's a topic for our game podcast. Um, I guess a couple of things I wanted to touch on. Yeah, I agree with you on the 1984. We talked about the game. I have to say a couple of things. One, I don't know why, but I'm having conflicting feelings about this Batman trailer because number one, I actually thought it was good.
Yeah.
But then I saw Robert Pattinson and I just can't believe he's Bruce Wayne.
Yeah.
Like, it's funny because the reason why I like this trailer, did it not remind you of Daredevil?
Yeah, it did. It did.
That's all I felt like. It was that gritty feel, the way he beat up the thug in the trailer. It was just so vicious, and it wasn't like pretty. It was just this unchoreographed rage thing.
Yep.
It just reminded me of Matt Murdock in Netflix. I was like, ooh, that was kind of cool. And
I
I
like that too.
actually I can see him as Batman, but when I saw him as Bruce Wayne, I'm like, Bruce Wayne doesn't look like a freaking
Kid.
doesn't even look like a kid. He just looks like a mopey.
The haircut. It was the haircut.
God,
I
it was
didn't like the haircut. I didn't like the haircut.
no, he had the haircut of Remember the Nolan the guy who ended up becoming Scarecrow.
Yeah. Oh my god. What the hell?
He just reminded me of that, and I was just like, what is he, like the male version of a cat lady or something? I know Twitter was getting all up in arms about the eye shadow he put on. I just figured that was him trying to cover his face up as much as he could. I can't believe he's Bruce Wayne, but everything else was fine. I don't was the guy who's
Remember, this is year 2. This is year 2.
Yeah, but Christian Bale did it too.
Yeah, but Christian Bale wasn't a year. I don't think he was
So
supposed
he
to be year
was
2.
because remember he was just a nobody trying to get himself killed by Falcone, and then he got kicked out, and then he decided to just give up his coat to this homeless guy. It gave him money and stuff, and then he ran off to some shipping container stowaway to China and just traveled the world and found the League of Assassins.
Yeah.
I just can't get over Christian Bale. I saw his year one, so now I've got to deal with this year one. And oh, by the way, because of Flashpoint, the new Flash movie coming around, guess what? Not only are we going to see Ben Affleck's
Yep.
Bruce Wayne, we're going to see Michael Keaton's Bruce Wayne.
Yep.
I'm really confused. This is the one thing I don't like about DC. They just do it this way. But I mean, the thing is, Joker did so well that I think they're going to do it this way. But I'm conflicted because I actually like that trailer. But then every time I see,
You didn't like the hair. It was the hair. It was the hair that did it for me.
It's the hair, the demeanor. It was just like I didn't believe he was millionaire playboy. And yeah, let's talk about that Catwoman thing where she just put on like a sock. She cut the sock a slit so her eyes would be there.
I know.
That was horrible. That was horrible. I mean, let's do Zoe Kravitz some justice here, man.
Yeah.
Another thing too is that the Suicide Squad, so real life Suicide Squad movie, I like that they made her better. They made that outfit look a little more Deadpool, but it made me believe that that was the Harley Quinn, like femme fatale, not this Harley Quinn androgynous thing that that you saw in that Birds of Prey movie.
Yeah, I
And,
know.
and you know what? To the credit, she was wearing pants and suit, but it was like a Deadpool thing, but it didn't look like this androgynous mess. So I give that credit. They found a balance, for the feminists out there. And then for the game, it's kind of funny. You look at the Harley Quinn in the Arkham Knight, and then you look at Harley in the Harley Suicide Squad, and then you look at the game Harley, and I'm like, yeah, it doesn't look like Harley. It's because her face is not in like a sharp oval; it's a round face or round.
Yeah.
It's just not. It's not Harley, but whatever. It's okay. All right, so we're gonna end that DC fandom talk, and let's talk about the other side, Marvel. Oh my god, didn't I call this when they put Sam Raimi? I called this. Toby Maguire reportedly in active talks to return as Spider-Man as a cameo in the Doctor Strange movie.
If he is truly, I am so excited. I really am.
This is setting up for the live action multiverse. It would actually be funny if you had Tom Holland, Andrew Garfield, and Toby, and some Miles Morales person, because you've already established that Miles Morales is there because of Prowler. Prowler was in Homecoming, right?
Yep.
So actually, could Holland's Spider-Man be the one that dies and inspire Miles Morales? So he takes over Earth. Was it 626? And then you'll have the Spider-Verse where Toby comes back as the older Spider-Man, the Peter Parker that we deserve.
Yeah. I really hope this is a Spider-Verse thing, and that they are like bringing him back. And I really hope it's true, because Sam Raimi is probably the only one who could bring Tobey Maguire back to Spider-Man, to be honest. I really think he's the only one.
Like, he disappeared. Tobey Maguire
disappeared. He had kids. And you know what? He just is like, I'm happy. Leave me alone.
Like, the last Tobey Maguire, that I got to see, apparently was Tropic Thunder. That was it.
Yeah, like, that's it. Yeah, Tobey Maguire is done.
And
like,
he's happy. Was supposedly in the Boss Baby, but still, like, give me some Tobey Maguire, man.
Tobey Maguire is a happy person, so we can leave him be happy, except when it comes to Spider-Man. Like, we need to show these millennials, no offense, guys, we need to show you what you missed out on. You've never seen his version of Spider-Man.
This is Spider-Man who struggles at everything, including paying his rent.
I know. He's a real Spider-Man. He is a real Spider-Man. Like,
this is adult Spider-Man. This is adult Peter Parker with adult problems.
Exactly. Adult like, he lives in a shitty part of town. Yeah. And he has to freaking share a bathroom. Like, I will tell you. He has to make phone calls on a payphone. You know?
And then he works for a newspaper company that gives him like $5 per picture of Spider-Man.
Yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? It's just all part-time work. It's not a full-time job. So yeah, I mean, jeez.
God, you know what? I'm gonna cry. Am I gonna cry? I think I'm gonna cry.
I just hope it's Sam. I hope it's Sam who's gonna bring him back, and talk through this. Spider-Verse, take us through this. It makes sense. I feel like Marvel really wants to dig into this multiverse thing. If you haven't seen the ending of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., this is a spoiler, but the multiverse was in the show. So, I mean, it's something I think they're going to run with since Ant-Man and since Doctor Strange and since, so I mean, especially with this Doctor Strange coming out, but man, Tobey Maguire. Give me like 10 minutes of Tobey Maguire in that movie. That would be great.
I know it's a rumor, but come on. We want adult Peter Parker with adult problems. I don't want Peter Parker who has to worry about homework and he goes la di da di da and cries about Tony Stark because Tony Stark was his dad who handheld him through everything. Peter Parker in high school didn't have Tony Stark holding his hand for every little goddamn thing. Tony, I don't know what to do. Mr. Stark, Mr. Stark. Everybody loves it. I know everybody who's an MCU person loves that. I hate it because I know Peter Parker doesn't need it. Like he doesn't need anybody. Like even if he tried to team up after it's done, he's like I gotta do my own thing. Sorry, it's just I'm excited. I hope that's true, but I've been disappointed before. But let me dream. All right, swinging over to the other side of Disney. Star Wars, according to the direct beta, Kathleen Kennedy says Lucasfilms is stepping back to assess the future of the franchise, and basically, the mess that is Star Wars has supposedly Lucasfilm going introspective, understanding what made it successful, and looking at, what did George Lucas create? We maybe we need to honor what George Lucas created, and you know what? Maybe we need to absorb all the things like the Legends books and all that shit.
Yep.
And Kathleen, like I get it. You're going out. You can never go out with a bang, but just step the F out the way and let Jon Favreau take over. It's a mess. Like the fact that we had on stage Ewan McGregor, right? Ewan McGregor was on stage, right, for the celebration or something like that?
Yeah, he was, and now
It's canceled or something.
Well, no, it's not canceled. Now they said so. Yeah, so let's take it. I know you didn't finish, but taking a step back to think about where they're moving forward for the future. They still are moving forward with Mandalorian, Cassian Andor, the animated stuff that they've already plowed through, and they did confirm that they're still moving forward with Obi-Wan, but it's only a mini series. It's not going to be like season 1, season 2. Like it's just a one-shot miniseries. So think of it as a comic book that only has 3 issues. That's basically what
we're talking about. We were talking about Obi-Wan, right?
Yeah, Obi-Wan.
Because you can never take the story forward. These people can only find success in the past.
Yep.
It's fucking sorry. It just fucking pisses me off. It's and then we didn't even talk about this Luke Skywalker. Do you have more news about that? Because I didn't. I saw you sent me something about this Luke Skywalker movie.
Okay, so let's pull it up while
Oh my god.
Let me pull this up.
The fact that they realize, we should have probably had given Luke a little bit of an adventure before we fucked up his legacy. Because we finally realized, he's actually the popular Star Wars character. But I'll go on Twitter and they'll tell me how popular Rey is more versus, and how the sequel trilogy it trumps the original trilogy by the tens of miles.
So basically this is rumored, and Showbiz Cheat Sheet was the one that I found it on. Basically, there is a rumor claiming Disney and Lucasfilm want to fix the franchise, which we've heard many times from many sources, so I think it's safe to say it's probably true. The idea is that this Luke Skywalker film is going to retell the story and fix some errors. Yes.
Wait, how do you fix errors?
The thing is like yeah, so they were saying, you mentioned it, this internal war going on because Kathleen's, her time's up.
Ooh, time's up. You threw a time's up back at her.
Her
Ooh.
time's up. And basically, what it says is in this article is that, there were three options that really, it appears there are three options. Each one would change the canon in some sort of way. Option one is a soft reboot of the entire sequel trilogy with time travel resetting the timeline using the veil of the Force, which is probably like, and I think Doomcock and Overlord DVD channel referred to it before, but basically they said that's probably the worst option. Because it's still, things would still happen the same way, but basically they wouldn't have blamed Luke for Ben turning to the dark side, and then Luke would be alive at the end probably. The next would be if you use this whole idea of the veil of the Force, basically, it would wipe out the entire sequel trilogy from canon.
That'll never happen. That was, but by the way, that's like $1 billion plus. Or a billion? Is that $1 billion that they probably no five? Let's say 500. They basically would have put 500 million down the drain. Plus, plus
So
what? Five to 7 years.
This would mean that Palpatine really died and never cloned himself and blah blah blah, and then that would lead to this idea of this solo Skywalker film, which would take place 10 years after the Return of the Jedi and maybe be set in the Mandalorian timeline. In this new timeline, Ben Solo still goes to the dark side, but Luke won't even be involved in that storyline. They don't want it says recasting Mark Hamill is not an option in the article, and I agree.
Yeah, he's old, but okay.
But Mark Hamill's done, I think, personally.
He's mentally done. Like
after
George Lucas would have to personally go to his house and say, "I got it back. Trust me." That's the only way.
Yeah, I mean, and I think they could use CGI to make him look younger, like they did with Leia.
Oh my god! And they wasted an opportunity for all three of them to be in the same freaking movie.
I know, they really did. Like one last ride.
Wouldn't they have been in the Millennium Falcon, blew up something, and they all died together, including Lando, instead of the fate that they all got?
I know even Lando got a shitty end of the stick.
Yeah, he talks to that lady. She's like, I don't know who my dad is. He just goes and looks at her. I guess we'll have to find out. It's like, what? Who is this random person that you're gonna go on a journey with?
And by the way, everyone kind of confirmed over to the side that he's not her dad, because they were trying to get you to think that that's her dad.
Well, that's the problem with the Star Wars. They try to make you care about people that are useless to the story. Remember, they tried to make us care about Rose Tico.
Oh yeah.
What was her contribution? Showing up in 5 scenes and then going on a space horse or some shit like that? Dude, it is a freaking mess. Somehow I just exceeded the F-bomb limits on YouTube because I just seeing Kathleen Kennedy's face reminds me of the oh god.
Anyway, so with that being said,
I think we should call it a day.
That Skywalker thing. I mean, I recall Mark Hamill saying, "This is it." I mean, even though he was only in 5 minutes of the film, it was mentally draining for him to be part of it, and I can totally understand that because they totally used him.
Oh, they used him in the marketing.
Yeah, in the worst way possible.
They're like, oh, you're going to see a really long Luke. Oh, did they say Luke Skywalker is going to be a significant part of The Last Jedi?
Yeah, and he was not at all. They cut him out. They probably made him shoot multiple scenes and then they cut him out.
And then Rise of Skywalker. To end it, say Rise of Skywalker, and he just showed up once. I'm not counting that little montage on Tatooine
Oh
where
god.
he just showed up, said, "Yes, you may use our last name."
Oh my god.
What is this shit? Sorry.
It is, and I'm sorry, but yeah, I really would be sad if it if they do that to him again.
I don't think George Lucas would do that. But that's the thing is Kathleen still around? I mean, there's still, I believe the rumor about there was a power struggle right now. It's pretty valid because there's Kathleen Kennedy trying to go out there in front saying she has control, and then there's you know rumors of John Favreau and George Lucas getting together, and the fact that you're having Kevin Feige quote unquote work for Kathleen Kennedy on a movie, that's bullshit. His MCU has done leaps and bounds and laps around Star Wars, and Star Wars is a bigger property than Marvel at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And in fact, Kevin Feige was given the hand of, even though they may say big now, but Captain America and Iron Man were C-level characters.
Yep.
They were not even B, C, and Star Lord and the Guardians of the Galaxy, they were D-level characters. The X-Men and Spider-Man were your A's and B's.
Yep. Yep.
Anyway.
Anyway, that's probably why they're taking a step back to think about everything. Who knows?
Yeah.
That, or like you said, Kathleen knows that time's up, and
Time's up.
that she can't really promise anything anymore. It's got to be the next person. So why not just make the statement that, hey, we're taking the time to reassess. We're basically going on hiatus, because that's basically what it means. And then from a future perspective, because no one is, no one is ready to watch anything going forward anymore. They're ready to watch things in the past.
Yeah. Anyway, I think it's a good time to wrap it up there. So, if you liked what you heard in the content, please like, comment, and subscribe. Click on the bell in order to get notifications of our content. Look out for us on a weekly basis. We do put out 2 podcasts. We've got the gaming podcast on Fridays and our typical entertainment-based ones on Sundays. And then in between, we'll sprinkle it with a few other little bits and pieces here with our variants. That being said, thank you for listening, and we hope to see you on the Sith side.
Bye.